to just admit people as they come. All right, welcome everybody. My name's Donna Martin, for those that don't know me, and welcome to Thermomixing with Donna. So tonight, this is our Thursday night recipe inspiration class. It's 7 p.m. every Thursday night. If I'm not available for any reason, I generally try and get somebody to stand in for me. So there will always be a class on a Thursday night at 7 o'clock. So this week we are going to be making something in the 6 and in the 7. I have a funny feeling this isn't going to go to plan. So as this is live, what you see is what you get. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, please remember to subscribe and also hit the like button or the bell, and it will tell you when I next upload a video. They do go up weekly, so it makes sure that you don't miss one. All right, so we have our lovely TM7 on one side and we have our lovely TM6 on the other. The TM6 is still a fantastic machine. I love my TM6. I've got a limited edition sparkling white, which is amazing. And then, of course, we have my Black Beauty, which is my new TM7, which is just adorable. All right, so we're going to make the chicken teriyaki recipe. But first of all, what I want to do is a recipe that I've actually not done before. So you know, it could work. It could be a complete fail. Who knows? I have been told that this recipe does work and is very good. So let's give it a bash. So this is what we call the thermoserver rice. So if you haven't got a thermoserver, this is a thermoserver. They have actually got a brand new one out now as well. You get these when you host a demonstration with 2 friends. So you don't have to have anybody buy your demonstration. You just need to host and have 2 friends in attendance. Or, for instance, they can join our Thursday night class. You and 2 friends can join the class and you can get yourself one of these. Now, the thermoservers are great for keeping your food hot or cold for a couple of hours. So today we're going to be doing the rice. So this one I'm actually going to use for teriyaki, which you'll see throughout as we go through the class, you'll see me using that. This one over here has got boiling water in, so I'm going to do this very carefully because I don't want to burn myself. So this has got very, very, very hot. And if you see the steam, woo, so that's hot, very hot in there. So that's my boiling water, heating that thermoserver up so that it can actually carry on cooking the rice once we put it in there. All right, so I did start on my 6 aiming to do this recipe that I've put into my week. So using Cookie Doo, for those that are unfamiliar with Cookie Doo. So Cookie Doo is the app that goes along with the Thermomix. It gives you access to 100,000 recipes from all over the world at your fingertips, and it's guided cooking. It's so easy, even the kids can cook. So if you want to get yourself a night off, get the kids cooking, they can choose a recipe, they can put the ingredients into the shopping list, they can send it to you, or even better, they can send it to Woolies and get it delivered. That's if you're in Australia, of course. If you're overseas, you need to send it somewhere else. But I do believe in England, for instance, Tesco's is on there, and some of the other supermarkets as well. So I've put in here, it's actually a recipe from the recipe community. It's called the thermoserver rice, serving 4 to 6 people. Now, created recipes in your TM6 is not as straightforward as a standard guided cooking recipe. It's a little bit, what's the word? Clunky. It's a bit clunky. You're backwards and forwards. You're pressing on different buttons. So I'm gonna show you what it does. So it says place simmering basket into mixing bowl lid. So we've got, which is this. So this is the simmering basket. All right. So it was asking us to put the simmering basket inside here like this. All right, and then I'm doing it in this one, but actually telling you what it says on this one. And then it's got the scales, so it's going to weigh in 300 grams of rice, which I've already done in this one. And then it says 500 grams of water. Oh, it did say it. So there you go. I actually couldn't see that. I must have missed it. So it's saying put the 300 grams of rice in that's rinsed. So I've already rinsed this. So let's see if we can do it in here. And rookie error, I haven't got a spatula. There we go. I always forget something on one of these lives. Right, now then, so I've rinsed this rice under the tap until it's rinsed clear, and that takes all the starch off it. So that means that it's not going to bubble over, especially if you were going to cook this in the simmering basket, it doesn't bubble over the top of the machine. So that's in the bottom of the bowl. Then it's asking us to add in 500 grams of room temperature water, which I've got here. So I'm just going to tare that. So I'm going to weigh in 500 grams, roughly. There we go, a bit over, a bit all right. All right, and then we're going to go, oh, no, not that. This is what I mean with these. With these ones, they're just not as easy as the other ones. Place water, oil, salt, which I've done the water already. So oil and salt into the mixing bowl. So let's go to scales, and it wants 20 grams of oil. Oh, that's funny. Don't want to put that in. Right. Oh, okay. All right. So the 6 weighs just like the 7 does. There we go, 20 grams, nice and easy. Could you believe that I couldn't cook before I got a Thermomix? Now, I'm like a chef. I'll have a go at anything. Salt to taste. You have to have salt in these things. Salt is key to any recipe that you're doing. I've also just realised that I haven't put my headset on, so the sound won't be as good as normal either. It has been a busy day. All right, so I'm just going to pop some salt in there. These are in the mix shop, by the way, if you're in need of some salt and pepper storage. I love these because they come with a little spoon. We grind down the salt in the Thermomix for the pepper and the salt, and then it just sits magnetized together, and it's brilliant. Love those. And they're not expensive either. All right, so it says stir with a spatula. Let's give it a stir. Always stirring clockwise, of course. That's another tip for you. Always stir clockwise when using a spatula in your Thermomix. And then we're going to cook it for 5 minutes at 100 degrees, speed 1. So we're going to go to here, and we're going to go, it's already gone in, 5 minutes, 100 degrees, speed 1. So we're just going to let that do its thing for 5 minutes. And then we're going to start making chicken teriyaki in the TM7. So I've already planned it in for my week, so it's coming up. So if I go to home screen, this is my home screen. It's a little bit different. You can set 3 different settings with your TM7 for your home screen. And to do that, you just go into your settings. So into your cube, I call it, at the bottom, into your cube, into settings, and then you can choose how you want your display. All right, so that's how you do that. Then I've set mine up with the middle one, so it's in the middle. Now, if I scroll down, oops, let's go back to my week. And we've got wholemeal crumpets. That's another thing I was going to do today. And basil pesto. I love my pesto. And you can do browning beef mince in here now, or chicken. So if you want your meat to have that flavor, you can actually do that browning. It is really good. So I'm going to choose the chicken teriyaki. And I'm going to go start. And this recipe is great. It's literally 20 minutes from start to finish on the table. So it says 10 grams of olive oil. And if I get this exactly right with the 10 grams, it will, oh, that went well over. That's all right, we'll tip it off. If I get it right, it gives me a tip and a tune. So we'll tip that off. Chicken, so that's what to do, 250 grams of chicken. Now, I have done more than 250 grams. So I probably will have to do an extra 5 minutes on this one. So we'll just pop some chicken in here, max the spoon. All right, so I'm going to pop in 250 grams of chicken. Now this should be, and as I said, I'm always a bit raw. So this should be chicken thigh, but it's actually chicken breast. But it will be fine. All right. We're just a bit short. Let's put one more piece in. There we go. Perfect. And it's going to tick it off for me. Oh, I do love that bit. All right. So we'll leave that for the next bit. There you go. Ticked off. Now then, let's go next. So now it says brown for 5 minutes at 160 degrees. So let's pop that on there and press play. Now, it's going to do browning at the intense level. So this machine does gentle and intense. So if you were going to cook something like mushrooms, for instance, you might want to do it on a gentle setting because you want it to slow cook. It's a nice, gives the mushrooms they don't come out shriveled up and nothing to them. So I like to use the browning session, the browning with gentle for when I do my mushrooms for breakfast. This is, so in 30 seconds, this is now at high heat. So this is it literally is sizzling away. Don't know if you can hear it, probably not, but it's 160 degrees. Now I could do something now, but I'm not going to do, and I'll explain why. So at the moment, this lid is not locked in. So I could lift the lid and it would stop, so that I can check what it's doing. If I do that though, I'm going to obviously reduce the heat down. So I'm not going to do it, but all I was going to say is it is possible to lift the lid. But as soon as you lift it, it will stop cooking. And then as soon as you put the lid back on, it will carry on cooking again. So it is a really cool, especially if you're cooking something over a longer period of time, and you just want to have a look at it. Like slow cooking, for instance, you'd be able to lift the lid off, have a look, maybe give it a stir, pop the lid back on, and it would just carry on cooking. You don't even need to press play. It's that cold. Now then, so we've got 3 minutes 30 in there. We've got 1 minute left in this one. So what I'm going to do is, while I've got that 1 minute, I think the next step in that machine is the next step in here is to actually take the rice out and pop it into the thermoserver. So I'm going to empty the water out so that the thermoserver, and quickly put the lid back on so it keeps it nice and hot. And I don't burn myself in the process because this water is boiling. All right, so that's nice and hot. Now, if you have one of these and you have a base like this, always use it with the base. Now, if you're like me and you have a stone bench top, stone absorbs heat. Whether it be a cold heat or a hot heat, it doesn't matter, it just absorbs it. So if you want to defrost something, put it on a stone bench top and it will defrost twice as fast. Now, if you want to keep something hot, you need to have the base on it, because if you don't have the base on it, it's not got this little lip on that protects it from the stone. Ooh. All right, so we've finished that bit. So let's see what it says next. So it says, place water, oil, salt, and oh, we've done that bit. Let's go next. Oh, no, that's too many next. Right. In the meantime, add approximately 1 litre of boiling water. So we've done that. When rice is finished, pour the water out. We've done that. Add the rice to the thermoserver and cover with the lid. All right, so we're going to take that. I'm going to give this a stir. It's nice and hot. All right, then we're just going to take that lid off quickly. We're going to pour this in like that and just get all of that rice out as quickly as we can. Keep all that heat in there. There we go. Make sure that your rice is under the water. Quickly pop the lid on. And I'll just leave that as it is. And that we will revisit right at the end of the class and see how it's doing. All right, now then, how's our, you see this steaming away. All right, we've got 1 minute 13 seconds before we need to do our next batch of chicken. Now, what we can also look at, so if you are new to a Thermomix or you haven't, I'm going to come out of this recipe now. We have a function screen. Now, I do call this my Tinder screen, which is some people find hilarious. I've never been on Tinder in my life, but it's the only thing I know that swipes left and swipes right. So we swipe across and we've got a function screen. Now, if I was to put some water in here and a little bit of detergent, so I'm just going to stick a litre of water in here and a little bit of detergent, just a drop. You don't need too much. All right, so we've got a litre of water in there. And I'm not going to put it on a pre-clean, but I'll show you where it is. So this machine cleans itself, and that's one of the benefits of it. And it has what's called a pre-clean. So on the pre-clean, you have a few different settings. You have short, dough, universal, fat or caramel, and browning. Now, if you're doing the top three, so the short, the dough, or the universal, you can use detergent. All right, just a tiny, tiny drop of detergent with your water, and it's perfectly fine. Oh, we're playing a tune. If you are doing the fat or caramel and browning, then you need to have either white vinegar, citric acid, or lemon juice. Either of those will work in that. So that's really good. Now, I could just put this on a short clean like that, and it says it takes 2 minutes. So that would just give it it doesn't really warm it up, it just gives it a rotation back and forward. Meanwhile, while that's doing that, we will use our thermoserver. Oh, there you go, it's kicked in. And all I'm going to do now is remove with some tongs So can you hear that? Can you hear that going backwards and forwards? Yes, no? So it's not, yeah. So that's just going backwards and forwards. All right, now we're gonna take that off. And let's have a look at our chicken. So our chicken is cooked beautifully in the bottom of there. All right, so it says, we'll stop that. So it says using the tongs transfer to the bowl. So we're just going to transfer this to here. Just to keep it warm. But we're leaving the juices in the bottom of the bowl. Okay. So I'm actually going to repeat that step with the rest of the chicken. So we're just going to throw that in. There we go. All right, now then, I'm going to add a little bit more oil just because I put more chicken in. Just a little bit of a Jamie Oliver, as I call it. Now then, pop the lid on. And next, so where's my lid for that? So there we go. All right. So I'm going to go back a step. Different on this machine to this one. So we're going to go to the previous step and we're going to press the three little dots and we're going to go set as current step. So it means we can go back a step. And then I'm just going to hit play and then it's going to cook for another 5 minutes. So we've got a chicken in here. It's already quite hot. So you can see the amber light. So this has 4 colors versus this one that has 2. So this one has green and red. This one has green, yellow, amber, and red. So as it goes through the different heat points. So it's on green at the minute. So it's gone back to cold again because it's got that cold chicken in there, but it's already sizzling. I can hear it sizzling. So it's just gone to yellow. I love how fast this goes. It blows me away. In this one, I'm just going to give it a blast. So rather than going on the pre-clean, I'm actually going to go on turbo. So turbo on here. All right. And I'm just going to give it 2 big turbos. And that should be sufficient. Go to home screen, turn off my turbo. Whoops. Turbo off, and it releases the arms. So that now can be rinsed out and I will be back in 2 seconds. There you go. And now our bowl is ready to be used again. So that's how easy it is with using the pre-clean mode to clean your Thermomix. Now, this recipe is super fast, but what I love about this is obviously this has got another 3 minutes. If you've got young kids, you can do all sorts in between moments of your Thermomix. Or maybe you've got things to do. So like I would probably go and empty the washing machine, or I might hang some washing up, or I might fill the dishwasher or empty it, or tidy up the ingredients that I don't need, or those things that you can do when you're not having to be at the pan doing this all the time. I love the Thermomix for that quick and easy bit of work. So this chicken's nice and hot because I can feel it on this. Be great for proving me bread actually on the top of here right now because it's just lovely and warm. So we've got 2 minutes 40. So put in the chat, what other things could we do when we've got time in between cooking? What time saver would it be for you? What would you do? Would you have a specific job to do, or would you, I don't know, just asking questions. It's always good to know what other people would do in their free time that you get back once you've got a Thermomix on your bench. Because as you can see, me talking to you, I don't need to do anything right now. Dishes, yeah, Melita, absolutely. I would now be in there actually emptying the dishwasher because the dishwasher is ready for emptying. But obviously I'm talking to you guys, so I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to think of other recipes. So we have other very quick recipes like this one as well. I have a list called I Can't Be Bothered. When I can't be bothered cooking, it's a list that I go to, which has lots of quick and easy recipes on it. Oh, great. Watering your plants. Great. Yeah, that's a really good quick and easy job to do in between things. There's so many, right? I mean, sometimes I've gone up and had a shower and come back down and it's ready, you know? I mean, this is Australia. It's the land of the 4-minute shower. Is that not the right thing? So when you've got 5 minutes cook time, your Thermomix is perfectly safe to be left. The only time we say when your Thermomix, you need to stay with your Thermomix is when you're kneading. So if you're kneading dough, the Thermomix needs you. That is the key that we say. When the only time you need to stay alongside your Thermomix is when it's kneading. If you're kneading a loaf of bread, especially if it's a big loaf of bread, say 900 grams, it's going to, it does what we call the Thermomix dance, because it totters on the bench. And that's when you need to stay with it. So when you're kneading dough, your Thermomix needs you, and that's the only time you need to stay with it, really. The rest of the time, it's perfectly safe to leave it cooking as it is now. Doesn't move, doesn't do anything. It's great. So we've got 36 seconds left, and then we're going to be going on to veggies. So this recipe I love because basically as we go through the cooks, we just throw it into the thermoserver. Just keep doing that. And then at the end, when we've made the sauce, we throw it into the thermoserver and mix it up. That's how easy it is. This recipe, and then hopefully our rice, fingers crossed, hopefully our rice will also have cooked, and then we'll have the rice to go with it. I obviously been lucky enough to have 2 Thermomixes, actually 3 in my kitchen, I'll be honest at the minute. This is another TM7 over there. But having 2 Thermomixes at home makes life so much easier, because I would just do rice in one machine while I'm doing the meal in the other. My phone goes off at the same time. It's so cool. This is a new update. So with the TM7, well, actually also with the TM6, we used to have a lot of updates, but the TM7 just keeps getting better and better. We now have it where it will actually tell your phone, the app on your phone, that your recipe's finished. So if you are upstairs or you're putting the baby to bed or whatever else, you know your Thermomix is finished, so you can come and see to it, which I think is phenomenal. All right, so let's take this lid off. And let's put our next lot of chicken, which is also cooked beautifully. Oh, it smells good. This recipe is to die for. This is a firm staple in our house. And it really doesn't matter whether you do it with thigh or you do it with chicken breast, this particular recipe. If you're doing a curry, I do find that the curries are better with a thigh versus the breast, but this recipe is absolutely fine. All right, so we'll pop that back on. All right, so we'll go next. And as you can see, it went red straight away. Scrape the base of the bowl, which I've kind of already done, so that's fine. I did it with the tongs. It will decaramelize anyway. So I'll show you what the bottom looks like at the minute. You can see it's a little bit, you know, we've got some juice in there, and it's got a little bit of stickiness in the bottom. So we'll go next. Now we're going to put in all our other ingredients. So it says eschalots. Well, I'm using red onion because it's what I add. So that's going in like that. All right. 44 grams, it's a bit over, so we'll have to tick it off ourselves. Red capsicum, yeah, already pre-chopped, so just stick that in. Oops. Thank you. So that's in, and it's going to tick that one off for me. Then carrots. Now, who can do matchstick carrots easily? Look how thin these are. And I'd love to say they were done in my Thermomix, but they weren't. At least I'm honest. I'd use the shark. This is brilliant for doing your matchsticks because it's so thin. So we'll pop this in, all the matchsticks in there. That's it. All right, tick that off. Then we've got snow peas, broccoli. Now, I didn't have any fresh, so I've just defrosted a bit of frozen and I'm just sticking it in. So you can be really, you know, you can mix this up and put a bit of all sorts in. Sometimes I've put mushrooms in, sometimes I've put zucchini in it, sometimes literally whatever I've got in the fridge, I will just make up the difference in the amounts. Then it says 20 grams of olive oil. So I'll stick that in there. A bit more. A bit more. There we go. It's a good gulp. Right. Tick that off. Next. And then it says saute for 5 minutes, 160 degrees. So that's literally all this recipe does. It just keeps cooking for 5 minutes at that. So you press play. I love that. Just love it. You put your lid on, press play. You don't even have to turn it down. So easy. So what are we going to talk about now? 5 minutes. Okay, so I didn't plan this 5 minutes, I'll tell you, because we're 5 minutes behind of where we were going to be because I did more chicken than I should have done. So what can I
I have
tell
a
you?
question.
Yeah.
If with the carrots, with obviously on the TM6 with
Yeah.
the grater, whatever we call it, I forget, the cutter. If you used
Cutter, yeah.
the thicker grating option, could that make the carrots similar to what you
Yeah,
did with
it would
the
actually, yeah.
peeler?
It does. In fact, thinking about it really, the thin carrot is very similar to the matchsticks. Very similar. It's just they're just not as long. I find them quite short. But yeah, absolutely, that would work. I haven't done them for a little while. Mainly because the cutter, because my cutter is not in my kitchen at the minute. It's actually at the stall in there. Um, I went to look for it to do the matchsticks and went, yeah, it's not here. So for those who are watching this, it'll be probably be too late when you're watching me on YouTube, but we are at the Caravan and Camping Show in Cleveland this weekend. We set the stall up today, so some of my stuff is already there. Hence, I don't have a cutter. But what I was going to say was, now I've completely lost my train of thought, but that's all good. Was Cookie Doo. So on Cookie Doo, do you know, for those that may or may not know, Cookie Doo actually works alongside MyFitnessPal. That's a really good thing for those that like to use MyFitnessPal. You can just copy the Cookie Doo link from the web browser and pop it into your recipe section of the MyFitnessPal, and it will calculate it all for you for all your macronutrients. So I know that's quite good for those that are, quite health conscious and watching all the different micronutrients. Cookie Doo, you can search by calories. You can search by ingredient, you can search by recipe, you can search through all sorts. And with 100,000 recipes at your fingertips, you cannot go wrong. You can't not find a recipe you're going to like. You can even search, if you're very particular on star rating, for instance, just search for 5-star recipes. Then you're guaranteed 100% it's going to be good. I always go for 4 and 5-star recipes. If they're 2 and 3 stars, I don't even bother. There are that many recipes to go at. You just don't need to. Some of my firm favorites, I'll show you, I made mayonnaise yesterday. So that's how much one recipe makes of mayonnaise. So that's my homemade mayonnaise. So this one is cooked mayonnaise, and I tweaked the recipe slightly. So I use malt vinegar when I make this. It's got in full eggs. So it's just eggs, oil, salt, and vinegar, and that's it. That's all that goes into that. And another firm favorite that you can't really not have if you've got a Thermomix is this, which is vegetable stock paste, or as I call it, veggie stock paste. It smells amazing, but do me a favor and don't taste it, especially if you make it. It really does not taste great. Oh, excellent. Good to know, Melita. It's good. Every Thermomix owner needs to make this. It is made from literally vegetables and herbs. You can tweak it. You don't have to stick to exactly what the recipe says. If you want to do the recipe the first time just because you're unsure, that's fine. But I will often take like carrot tops, celery tops, peelings, literally you name it goes into my veggie stock paste. But the flavor it gives to your meals is amazing. I also don't bother with the meat stock paste these days. I just use the veggie stock paste for everything, and it just makes every meal taste great. But like I said, don't taste it. It smells amazing when you've made it. So you go, oh, and then you go, don't taste it. But I say, would you actually suck a stock cube? You wouldn't, right? So don't touch this. Just put it in your food and it will make it taste amazing. So we've got 7 seconds left, so I'll pop this back in the fridge. Goes off on my phone as well. That's it's still Tickles me. All right, so it says transfer into the thermoserving bowl. So let's show you what this looks like. Now, because those matchsticks are really, really small, they do tend to sort of disappear. So there's the veggies all cooked and you can see it's steaming away. So take that off and I'm just going to tip all of these into my chicken teriyaki. Well, with my chicken at this point. Now, I do think we probably are going to go over time for tonight, so I do apologise, but won't be by too long. All right, so let's go next. So let's put a lid on. All right, so it says scraped the bowl. There's nothing in the bottom, pretty much. I'll show you what that looks like. See, it's all pretty much clean. We'll go next. It says do not clean the mixing bowl. Now that we love, right? Love a recipe where it tells us not to clean it. Next. Now, this is wanting me to put in fresh garlic and fresh ginger, but in pieces. And I have got paste today. I'm cheating. So I'm just going to put in the 10 grams of each of these. Like that. And because I know this recipe well, it's wanting to chop it. So there's no need to chop it. So I'm just going clockwise with my spatula. And I'm just flicking it so that is around the edge of the bowl. And skip. So it says scrape down the sides of the mixing bowl. Well, I don't really need to do that because I haven't actually done that next step. So then I'm going to add in my soy sauce. So it says tamari, which is basically gluten-free soy sauce. For me, it's just standard soy sauce. So you can substitute. It does say see tips. So we'll tick that off. Then we've got honey. Now this used to be, I don't know if they have these in the mix shop anymore, but this is my honey. So I'm going to do 30 grams of honey. Now I don't pre-weigh my honey because I find you lose half of it on the actual, whatever you've measured it into. So I prefer to just do it straight out and it doesn't take long. All right, so that's our honey already done. And it's perfectly right. And then we're going to put in our gluten-free corn flour, like that. And we're going to put in our 2 teaspoons of water. So 2 teaspoons of gluten-free corn flour, which we'll tick off, and then we're going to go next. And now we're going to cook for 3 minutes, 100 degrees at speed 3.5. So that's just going to whip it basically, so while it makes that sauce. So while that's doing that, I'll tell you about another homemade sauce that we do a lot as a consultant. By the way, if anybody hasn't got a TM7, you can get yourself one for free when you sell for Thermomixes. That's how easy it is. This is tandoori paste. Now, I wish you were here to smell this because it smells amazing. I can show you what it looks like. It is gorgeous. Now, this is a must when you have a Thermomix. It makes the best curries. The creamy coconut chicken curry is one of my favorites. It's a 30-minute recipe, and this uses this paste. Now, you make this paste in your Thermomix in 5 minutes. That's how quick it is. There are 2 ingredients, though, that are a must for this recipe to be perfect. And one is the black cardamom instead of green cardamom. It's a very, very different. It's more aniseedy. And then there is the Kashmiri chili powder, which is a mild chili powder. It's not the hot chili powder. And both of those into this recipe mean that the heat doesn't come through. It just gives you flavor. And it's to die for. I often will take this to demonstrations and let customers with a spoon just have a taste because it's just to die for. I could eat it just off the spoon. And I've only got a little bit left. So I've probably not got enough for a full curry, but as there's only me and my daughter home for the next week, then I can probably make a curry for 2. Because on our, going back to cookie dough, with the cookie dough recipes, you can upscale and you can downscale. So say you've got a family of 8, for instance, and you want to upscale it, you can do that. Or say you're just the 2 of you, you can downscale it to 2. Or maybe there's just 1 of you. And if there's just 1 of you, then cook once and eat twice. That's what I do. All about, being spending less time doing cooking when you can do lots of nicer things. I'll just pop this back in the fridge. Now we've got 47 seconds left, and I can hear that that sauce is pretty much ready. And so I'm just going to give this a quick mix through, and then I can show you what this looks like before I put the sauce through it. Oh, smells amazing. So that's the chicken and the veggies all mixed together. And obviously, depending on what veggies you put in it, would depend on what it looks like. But that's amazing. I was going to try and do a dip in between, but I didn't get all my ingredients out in time. So I'm sorry about that. But if you're looking for dips, I can highly recommend the red capsicum and sun-dried tomato dip. The red capsicum sun-dried tomato dip is one of the best. It's so good. Or if you want something even simpler, then the herb and garlic dip is like two ingredients. It's, well, three ingredients it is actually. It's parsley, garlic, and Philadelphia or cream cheese, and that's it. And you mix it together and eat it. It's amazing. All right, so let's go next. So this says pour the sauce. So let's have a look at our sauce, shall we? So there is our beautiful sauce. So we're just going to open this up, and I'm just going to pour this, scraping around the bowl, again going clockwise, and just pour this over my veggies and my meat. And the good thing about these thermoservers as well is that your thermoserver, this will keep this meal hot for a couple of hours. So say you've got family coming in at different times, you know, hubby comes home late or the kids have soccer or whatever, you could make this and then just keep it warm. So I'm just going to mix this through, then it gets flavour through it all. Oh, and then of course I'll do a taste test because we have to do that, right? How are we doing for time? Oh, we're only 5 minutes over, I think, so we're not so bad. Oh, that looks amazing. So there we go. We have our chicken teriyaki. Now, obviously, you can increase the volume in that. As you can see, this is a very big thermoserver. I'm just going to scrape off. Got a bit more sauce in here. Don't like wastage. Don't know about you guys, but I don't like wastage. All right. So that's that. Now then, let's put the lid on that. Keep that warm. Actually, let's just have a taste, shall we? Let's get a piece of chicken out.
Hey, Don.
Mm.
Donna here. You can't buy thermoservers anymore, can you?
No, 1 minute. That was a big piece of chicken, sorry. You've never been able to buy thermoservers. My goodness, sorry. It's a rather a big piece of chicken I put in my mouth. I should not have picked one quite so big. The only way to get hold of a thermoserver, and the easiest way to get hold of a thermoserver, is to host a demonstration. Now, that doesn't mean to say that you have to have it at your place. They are better in person, much better in person, but you can just invite 2 friends along to a class like this, and then you can get yourself a thermoserver. The new thermoservers are stackable, and it has a seal on the lid as well. So I will show you that next week. It's not actually here at the minute, so I can't show it you. But the thermoservers are always available as a host reward, and they are generally free. In fact, Melita, I don't know if you have the host rewards handy that you could post a picture into the. No.
I will look.
Yeah. I have it on my phone, but I don't know if I could post it straight in the chat. But if you're interested in just finding out a bit more about the host rewards and you're looking for a thermoserver, then pop it in the chat and I'll ask Melita if she will just make a note of your name and I'll get that information to you. Or just reach out to your consultant. If you reach out to your consultant, they'll be able to help you to get a thermoserver on your bench. I couldn't live without my thermoservers. I use them all the time. It's a daily thing because I like to make my meals ahead of time and have them on the table ready for when everybody comes home. When everybody is home, at the moment, there's only myself and my daughter. Now then, let's have a see. Who would like to see how this thermoserver has gone with, I don't know, open it in case it's not cooked. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, that's had chicken on it. I better not use that. I'm going to have a sneaky peek. Oh my God. Wow. There we go. There we have it. Rice done. Let's have a taste. Cooked to perfection. Amazing. I'm going to put that lid back on. So that is how to basically do it in one Thermomix. So I could have done I know today I did the rice in the 6 and then I've transferred to a thermoserver, but realistically I could have done both of those in the 7 or both of these recipes in the 6 because the chicken teriyaki is fantastic in the 6. It's been a staple of mine since I got my TM6 6 or 7 years ago. But I've never done that. I've never done rice like that in the thermoserver. So that's pretty impressive. Even I'm impressed at myself. All right, ladies. Well, that's it for tonight. If you were, Melita, if you would like to hit the stop button, please, that would be great. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on live.